Want to gain early access for new Snob episodes, take part in polls or AMAs? Then help support us over at Patreon by clicking the links below in the comments or in the description, or go directly to patreon.com/The Cinema Snob. Thanks for watching.
Don't mind me, people. I'm just a guy sitting here with his new Gary Sinise artwork who just wants to live my life in peace. In case you missed the captivating stream from last night, in which I debuted this beautiful piece of artwork for the house that we have. There was some bad news last night, certainly. It's a bummer that the Shining miniseries episode is currently in copyright limbo. Who knows how long that'll be in there? But when I went on my walk yesterday, things certainly peaked up, in which they had a sale over at the antique store. One of those things, several different pieces of artwork from the Gino Zeist collection of art in the Chicago pizzeria, and this one stuck out to me, the Gary Sinise piece. I'll take it, sir. I would have taken it at full price, but with a deal, absolutely. So we can actually probably, it's cool. Like everyone here in the chat, we have a nice community in there that certainly has a lot of conversations going about various, topics that I'm talking about in a given episode, which is usually a lot, as chaotic as my stream of consciousness is. But I could put something in there. I could go ahead and put something in there for the people in the comments section, because there are some people who don't watch this live, who have to check it out later, and they might be saying some stuff towards the screen, but they're like, damn it, this isn't live, he can't hear me. So we can put something in the we can put a nice little poll in here for a Gary Sinise related poll, mind you. We'll put a Gary Sinise related poll in here that people in the comment section could also take part in. So let's see. How about, let me type this in here. Best Gary Sinise movie. I'm not even going to think of my top 4. I'm just going to think of 4 random Gary Sinise movies. So how about Ransom, which actually would be in my top 4. How about Reindeer Games, Jack the Bear. Let's go a little bit more obscure. Jack the Bear and Truman, the HBO movie. I see people mentioning Apollo 13 and all that. That's too easy. It'd even be too easy for me to write The Stand in there, because I'm pretty sure it would probably win. I'm like, I don't know why I'd need to do a poll. Most people will probably choose The Stand. All right, we'll go ahead and start this poll right now. And if you're not watching this live, go ahead and contribute go ahead and contribute in the comment section with very little name calling. Some name calling's okay, but very, very little. Let's go ahead and start that poll. There you go, for people watching it live. Have fun with that. We'll go ahead and read the results at the end of the episode. But speaking of Gino, I got this here from Gino Zeist, or I didn't get it from Gino Zeist. That's just originally where it came from. We've been having we've been getting a lot of great stuff in the house. I mean, sure, there's all the stuff that I've been buying on my own, between old Sesame Street house, not quite so old Sesame Street house, very, very old Fisher Price, random old nuclear family house. We have all those sitting there, but we've been getting a lot of fun stuff sent to us too. Certainly, we got a ton at the baby shower that we had. I showed you on that particular episode the cream of the crop there. That being, of course, the onesie that Dave gave us with the logo for Major League 2 on it. Not Major League 1, Major League 2, because that's what makes it hilarious, because Major League 2 kind of sucks. But we got a box of some stuff not too long ago, in which our buddy, if you remember Gino from the site, Gino was in a lot of midnight screenings, a lot of different live streams with us. Has his own YouTube channel as well, and I think the first video we might have done together, I think it was Riddick. I do remember we were both at like an advanced screening for Yoga Hosers, because he was reviewing it for his site, I was reviewing it for mine, and when it was over, we were both like, we've got a vent. You want to join me on this midnight screenings? So anyway, he sent me a box of stuff in which, we now got a new onesie that it's going to be hard to top this one, people. And that's, of course, baby's first Caligula. Baby's first Caligula memorabilia. Oh, no, it's okay. It does have a quote on the back of it. No, it's not from Scripture. I know that Caligula does open with a Bible verse from the Gospel of Mark, but no, you can't. We can't write this off as being like, it's okay, you can wear this to church, it's religious, it's got a Bible verse on the back of it. No, it's simply Caligula declaring himself as a god. That might be against one of the commandments, I'm not sure, but we'll see about him wearing this to church. I don't know how old he'll be when he gets the context of this shirt. Daddy, why are they wrestling even harder? Because Caesar shouted out more conviction, son. Learn your history. This will be on the history test. For the sake of this story, I guess I am homeschooling you. At least in Roman history. We'll watch I, Claudius after this. And we'll get some alternate history to the Bruno Mattei versions of Caligula. There's even more conviction in those. So, thank you very much to Gino for my child's already fantastic collection of shirts. That's even better than mine. Surprisingly, I don't have a Caligula shirt. I used to. When I was in high school, I had a Caligula shirt. Haven't had that for a really long time. I certainly don't have a Major League 2 shirt. He's already got way cooler shirts than I do. I'm 41 years old. I have a lot of long sleeve hoodies that have holes in them. Because changing my shirt's hard. There's holes in it, but they're little holes. Eventually, there'll be more holes in the rest of them. We got, the cats, they're very clawy. So there's that. Okay. Now let's get to, let's not get to the... Let's not get to the, sorry, I'm starting to get an error message on here, so I just want to make sure everything is okay. I see an error message, but I also see the chat is still going. So the chat may already kind of be doing their own thing in there. And not noticing that if there's actually anything wrong over on the chat end. But thank you I'm already seeing some super chats. I'm already seeing some super chats in there, so that's good. We'll do the super chats. We always do those in the second half of the show. Before then, it's all about ChatGPT, at least on this particular one. Okay, so now, as many of you know, the hour-long episode of the Cinema Snobs Shining miniseries is over at patreon.com/the Cinema Snob. So you can still, it's going through copyright, but you can still see it over there. But we have... But we do have a lot of stuff has still been getting cleared. I talked about this last night and last week as well, where I am kind of going through, and it's almost like kind of just a game of certain videos, seeing like, you can clip a little bit here, see if that works. That's what's going on right now with Friday the 13th 3D. So it's a lot of like little snipping that is still happening with it. I'm circumcising the episodes. Surprisingly, Foreskin Gump is okay. But no, so a bunch of stuff has gotten cleared, even though there's still some in appeals, like the Shining miniseries. Here's just some right now that if you haven't seen these Cinema Snob episodes in a while, well, they're back. As some of them might have still been public, but at least now they're back to being monetized, so that's really good. Shock Treatment is back. Night of the Seagulls is back. God's Club. Christian Mingle the movie. 3 Dev Adam. That's the Turkish Captain America versus Santo versus Spider-Man, something like that. It's the one where Spider-Man is a big eyebrowed crime boss in it. But that one's back. The first Nightmare on Elm Street, that's back. Saturday the 14th, Sunday School Musical. The compilation I did of Silent Night, Deadly Nights, parts 1, 2, and 3. Hellraiser Judgment. I had to think for a sec, which one's Hellraiser Judgment? Oh, it's the one after Hellraiser Revelations that isn't that bad, only because Revelations came before it. And the Spaghetti Western Cutthroats 9. So all of those are back. But one that you should check out, because I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was in limbo for a long time. I did it to tie in with the Indiana Jones that came out, but it went into limbo not long after that, so that timing isn't really relevant anymore. But no, not The Shining. There we go. I did bring back. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's a 50s Ronald Reagan movie where he plays basically like an Indiana Jones prototype in this movie called Hong Kong. It was in limbo for a bit. I was going to bring it back because that's one of the title cards I had to do myself, because Sean was out of town for a few weeks. So eventually that title card will be replaced, and I was waiting for that, but I needed to bring something back from limbo because of the stuff that going on with The Shining. So I made that one public again yesterday. So if you haven't seen that episode yet, it's back. I had a good time doing it. It's not really like it no longer ties into Indiana Jones because, well, that episode was in copyright limbo longer than Dial of Destiny was in theaters. Doesn't really say much, probably. Now we can get to why you're here. GPT Cinema Snob episodes. I read one last night. I read the ChatGPT Cinema Snob script for the Shining miniseries, and we have an episode of the live stream that I did like a month or so ago in which I read scripts for, I think it was Hostel and Paranormal Activity. So we're going to read a couple of more scripts tonight, because these have become my favorite episodes to do for the live stream. Maybe it's just me who gets a lot of enjoyment out of them, but I really, really love reading artificial intelligence's version of me. Because I never know what I'm going to be wearing in them. Sometimes I'm wearing a turtleneck. There was one time I was wearing a fedora. So we'll find out. We'll find out on these. I'm doing the Oogie Loves, which my friend Marissa gave me the idea for that in the stream yesterday, to do Oogie Loves, and we did Paranormal Activity, so we'll do Paranormal Activity 2. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull up ChatGPT on here. Bear with me, people, as you're here for this riveting episode of me reading a script. Here we go. Okay. Top priority, Oogie Loves. We'll go ahead and read the Oogie Loves script first. I love doing this. Maybe this is just entertaining to me. It could be. I have probably over 1,000 videos of stuff that's just entertaining to me. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. The Cinema Snob reviews the Oogie Loves. Oh, well, to set you the backstory on it, if you don't know the Oogie Loves, not only is it a very popular Cinema Snob episode, which is kind of this Teletubbies type movie, which was audience participation, that really only about 4 people saw in the theater. No, a little bit more than that. Maybe 6. I saw it, Dave, Jake, we did a midnight screenings of it, and then over on, not Double Toasted, but it was Spill at the time, Corey and Tony and them, I think, went to go see it. It's a classic episode of theirs too. So just as let's see how the AI version differs from the regular snob version. Intro. The cinema snob wearing his signature bow tie and glasses. Already, we're off to a great start. The cinema snob will be played by Tucker Carlson in this scenario. As I said, I don't even know how to tie a bow tie. I'm going to make that part of my costume. It's bad enough I had to slick my hair back every episode. All right. He sits in front of his bookshelf filled with film-related paraphernalia. The iconic cinema snob music plays in the background as he begins his review. So, okay, this is an older episode. Because, hey, maybe they didn't want to say Believe It or Not plays in the background, the theme to Greatest American Hero. ChatGPT is also looking out for copyright. Cinema Snob clears throat. Greetings, my fellow cinephiles. I guess I've dropped the snobsters thing. Greetings, my fellow cinephiles. Today I have a special treat for you, or should I say trick. Not a Halloween movie, but okay. We're diving headfirst into a cinematic atrocity of epic proportions. I present to you the Oogie Loves in the Big Balloon Adventure. I don't know, it threw in a Halloween reference in there. Okay, he raises an eyebrow and lets out an exaggerated sigh. Cinema Snob. Now, where do I even begin with this masterpiece? Masterpiece was in quotes. Cinema Snob. The Oogie Loves is a children's film that could very well be the brainchild of a deranged madman. Okay, yeah, there was a little smudge on the computer. It's a children's film that could very well be the brainchild of a deranged madman on acid. The plot? Well, hold on to your seats. It's a thrilling tale of three colorful anthropomorphic things. It does say ... things. Things, Toofy, Gooby, and Zuzi. They embark on a quest to find 5 magical balloons to throw a surprise birthday party for a pillow named Schluffy. Yes, you heard me right. A pillow. I actually had ChatGPT do this twice, because I had him do it in the thread that did include all the reviews that kept having me call the audience snobsters. But it wasn't that good. Like, it was a lot of what the Shining miniseries ChatGPT was, where it was me saying stuff like, this movie is audience participation, but did the audience participate by buying tickets at the box office? Well, we'll find out in a minute. It was doing a lot of that, where it was like, there's a lot of songs in this movie, but did it pay off? We'll see. Like, it was it wasn't a review. It was just asking questions about it like he's a newsman. When I had ChatGPT do it in a separate window, then the magic started happening. It put me in a bow tie. All right. Cinema Snob. The cast includes talents like, dude! I usually don't read through like the whole thing, like I skim it. I skim it to kind of see like which one is funnier. This is okay. ChatGPT Cinema Snob has questionable taste, or is a little too I don't know, is meaningless with his insults. All right. The cast includes talents like, and I use this term loosely, Cloris Leachman, Christopher Lloyd, and Carrie Elwes. 3 great actors, and ChatGPT's sitting there like, talented people. I use that term loosely. Cloris Leachman, what's she been in? Oogie Loves? Oh, guess that's the only thing. It's like watching seasoned actors be held hostage by a gang of primary... This is kind of funny. It's like watching seasoned actors being held hostage by a gang of primary colored sock puppets. Well, I can't argue with that. Poor... Okay, now he's getting to be an asshole again. Poor Christopher Lloyd. What happened to your career? What happened to mine? I'm sitting here reading. I'm sitting here reading a fake version of my own review of the Oogie Loves. Cinema Snob. Now let's talk about the musical numbers. And I use... He likes this joke in this episode. Now let's talk about the musical numbers. And I use the term musical very liberally here. Now let's talk about the acting. And I use that term loosely. Now let's talk about movie review. I'm just reading a script that a computer wrote. These songs are the auditory equivalent of nails on a chalkboard. They're so cringeworthy, it's like witnessing an actual train wreck. So this is old Cinema Snobs, when every negative review online included the word train wreck. Oh, and there's a dance sequence with vacuum cleaners, because why not? Okay, that I could see myself doing now. Oh, and they're banging an E.T. puppet again, because why not? Or actually, I'd probably go, sure. Like, that's probably what I would do. All right, now to talk about the audience. Cinema Snob. To be fair, I'm not the target audience for this film. I don't know how often I've ever said that. I think I have in the Medea episodes. Kids movies and religious movies, I don't know how often I've said to be fair. And I don't know how often I've to be faired myself. To be fair, I'm not the target audience for this film. The Oogie Loves is aimed at very young children, and I'm sure they'd find this colorful chaos mildly entertaining. Box office says otherwise. But as a critic and a lover of cinema, I can't help but cringe at the sheer lack of creativity and storytelling. Kind of disagree there. The Oogie, say what you will about the Oogie Loves, it has a lot of creativity. These weird things go off to find magic balloons for their pillow's birthday, who's sitting there coughing up his own feathers. And they have to do it because their vacuum cleaner named J. Edgar lost the balloons. They find out where they are from the magic window, who I think the vacuum cleaner wants to bang. It is actually a very creative film. Storytelling, I don't know about that, but creative, yeah, it is. Cinema Snob. In conclusion, the Oogie Loves and the Big Balloon Adventure is a cinematic experience I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Well, I mean, I probably would. It's, kind of... I didn't regret seeing it. It's a baffling mess of a film that makes you question the choices that led you to this point in your life. Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing, fake Cinema Snob from several years ago. Wait till you get to the point to where you're having AI create the review for you, and then sitting there with a coffee late at night, reading it for the audience. Cinema Snob leans in closer to the camera, his voice filled with irony. Is this ironically close enough for you? All right, Cinema Snob. So if you enjoy films that challenge your sanity and test your patience, go ahead, give it a watch. For the rest of us, let's stick to films that have at least a semblance of coherence. That's not what I mean. I might say that, but it'd have like a thank you very much at the end of it. He raises his glass of water in a mock toast. My glass of water? No, I'd be drinking a clinker brick wine, thank you very much. He raises his glass of water. Also not water, it's coffee. Cinema Snob. Cheers to better cinematic choices. Until then, stay snobby, my friends. This must have been written when the Dos Equis guy was at the height of his popularity. Oh, there's a little bit of action at the end, too. He takes a sip and leans back. Takes a sip, leans back. As the Cinema Snob theme music is playing as the camera fades out. I'm liking picturing that in my head. Stay snobby, my friends. Believe it or not. Oh. mean, I would make a joke about like Fade, since when do I do that? But I actually do that in the Shining miniseries episode. That's good timing. The Shining miniseries episode is one of the few episodes that does end with a fade at the end of it. Okay, well, that was... Let's see what's going on over here in the chat if people are... Yeah, this is a very drippy looking cup. Jacob's pointing out there in the chat. It is. I've been using... I have a few cups of coffee a day. I typically refill it through the day. Sometimes it might get a little too dirty, but it gets a little spilly as the day goes on. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Now we should get to the Paranormal Activity. Excuse me. We should get to the Paranormal Activity 2 portion of ChatGPT Cinema Snob. Now, if you remember, AI version of me gave a very positive review to Paranormal Activity, which I think when I reviewed it on my own, I gave it a positive review. I'm sure I did. Yeah, that movie's fine. Which made me, because I've been thinking, like, I believe ChatGPT is using as the basis episodes of the Cinema Snob from like 16 years ago. Although it did give a positive review to Paranormal Activity, and Cinema Snob of that time, it wouldn't have given a positive review to very, very much. So let's go ahead and see what he thinks about Paranormal Activity 2. And more importantly, what am I going to be wearing this time in it? Cinema Snob reviews Paranormal Activity 2. Intro. Cinema Snob sits at his desk. I've got a desk this time. Surrounded by movie... But this seems like an awkward setup for a set. Sits at his desk, surrounded by movie posters and memorabilia. He adjusts his signature glasses and begins speaking to the camera. No notes about whether I'm wearing a bow tie this time. Cinema Snob sarcastically... Yeah, no shit. Sarcastically, well, my discerning cinephiles. That's my nickname for y'all now. My discerning cinephiles. Today we dive deep into the abyss of found footage horror once again. I've received countless requests to review Paranormal Activity 2. For the sake of argument. It's a movie so groundbreaking it made shaky. It's a movie so groundbreaking, it made shaky cameras and haunted houses seem trendy. Now, before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that I can handle horror films just fine. Why, just last week, I watched a black and white film without flinching. It was terrifyingly dull. Does fake me come with a rim shot in this one? So let's see if this one can measure up. I guess fake me hates black and white movies. And is getting countless requests of Paranormal Activity 2. Not Paranormal Activity 1, the second one. Oh my god, you guys, I'm getting countless requests about Hostel Part 3. Alright. Scene 1. Cinema Snob. Our scary adventure begins with Paranormal Activity 2, the sequel to a film that had everyone terrified. It's like deja vu, but with more creepy cameras and jump scares. They even got the brilliant idea to use security cameras this time. It's telling me to roll my eyes. It says, in parentheses, rolls eyes. They got the great idea to use security cameras. I mean, why wouldn't it? The film introduces us to the family, a husband, wife, and newborn baby. This is topical. They set up security cameras throughout the house after experiencing some mysterious events. Cinema Snob mocking. Ah, yes, the typical American family, complete with a fancy house and more cameras than a paparazzo convention. It's like watching Big Brother, but without the drama or interesting characters. Oh, yeah, yeah, because you know how much I love Big Brother, and not only will I reference Big Brother in a snob episode, but in a positive context. Wow, this horror movie really sucks. Sure wish it was like Big Brother. It's so riveting, I'm on the edge of my seat. Leans back lazily. What is that even? It's so riveting, I'm on the edge of my seat. Alright. Nighttime activities. Cinema Snob. The family goes about their lives as if they're contestants in the world's most boring reality show. Oh, I guess I hate reality shows in this in this paragraph. Oh yeah, fake me has standards. Don't give me that bullshit reality shows. Give me Big Brother. At night, they discover weird disturbances. And I must admit, I'm impressed by the precision of these ghosts. They always wait for the perfect time to scare the living daylights out of everyone. Bravo, ghosts. Bravo. Various clips showing doors slamming, lights flickering, and objects moving mysteriously. I guess I got a montage in this episode. Cinema Snob, sarcasm. Oh, the suspense, the tension. It's like watching paint dry. Ooh. He didn't use train wreck in this one. He's using the paint dry analogy. It's like watching paint dry with jump scares. I can't believe I get paid for this. Oh, wait, I don't. See, that line makes me think this is early Cinema Snob. He goes, I can't believe I get paid for this. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't. That's within the first couple years. That's before monetization on YouTube. This is old Cinema Snob. It explains a montage of different things happening. Cinema Snob laughs. Hold on, folks. We've got a baby monitor in the mix. You know, because hearing the sound of a baby sleeping is the stuff of nightmares. I guess I'll soon find that out. It's like ASMR, but with demonic undertones. Okay, now I'm confused about what era this is taking place in. ChatGPT me is not getting paid for this, but it's later on in the internet world that ASMR is a thing. The family hears strange noises through the baby monitor, leading to some chilling moments. Cinema Snob rolls eyes. Oh. Wow, it's almost as if this ghost specifically enjoys interrupting a baby's sleep schedule. I think this is actually future me reviewing this. That's just plain inconsiderate. Maybe the ghost needs a nap too. Pretends to be... Okay, in parentheses, it's telling me to pretend to be possessed. Maybe the ghost needs a nap too. I'll haunt you tomorrow. I need my beauty sleep tonight. Haha. Fake me. I don't think Fake me's probably a very good actor. Cinema Snob leaning forward. Too late, already am. Ah, the piece de resistance. The jump scares. Ooh. Dishing out the big words. The piece de resistance. The jump scares. You know, because every good horror movie needs to assault your senses with abrupt, loud noises. My favorite part is when they telegraph the jump scares like a neon sign. Subtlety is overrated. That's probably what I would say in an old episode. The Cinema Snob proceeds to unleash a series of predictable jump scares. Cinema Snob sarcastically, how innovative. It's telling me to clap, but that might be hard now. I haven't seen this many jump scares since I accidentally spilled coffee on my lap this morning. See? I haven't even wiped it off of my cup yet. Now that was terrifyingly unexpected. Conclusion. Okay, I like that. It's written like a script in big word. It breaks it up into parts, like Act 1, the acting, Act 2, the jump scare, things like that. Here, in big letters, it says conclusion, and underneath it, it says Cinema Snob, parentheses, concluding. So, conclusion, Cinema Snob, concluding. Paranormal Activity 2. A movie that proves you can make a sequel to anything if you throw in a few security cameras and an abundance of jump scares. It's like watching a haunted house attraction, but without popcorn. In the end, it's nothing more than a forgettable cash grab that tries to recapture the magic of its predecessor, but fails miserably. My advice, save your time and watch actual paint dry instead. It's way scarier. Winks. It's telling me to wink. I don't know. It's way scarier. So am I lying? I mean, I like Paranormal Activity 2. I haven't seen it since theaters, but I remember liking it. I saw it on an IMAX. That was weird. Yeah, so maybe I am supposed to wink as in like, I'm just in character. I recommend it. Just watch paint dry instead. This movie sucks. Maybe I squirted pulp in my eye like George Costanza. Cinema Snob signs off, leaving his viewers with a sarcastic farewell. Bye. Cinema Snob. Well, that's it for this spine-chilling episode. Join me next time as I explore the darkest depths of the cinematic universe. Or, watch a movie that's actually worth watching. Until then, adieu, my fellow movie mascots. Or no, sorry, I got that wrong. Okay. Until then, adieu, my fellow movie masochists. Waves dramatically. Stay snobby. What it says stay snobby. Ah, that's great. I love it. So stupid. Fake me felt about Paranormal Activity that real me felt about Paranormal Activity 4. I like that I use words like piece de la resistance and adieu, which, in fairness, as the Cinema Snob, I'm really surprised I didn't in the older episodes. Maybe I just didn't know how to spell them. All right. Let's go ahead and get to your super chat questions. Oh, I love it. I love reading those so much. I apologize if it's just me who gets a kick out of them. We'll go ahead and we'll read the poll results after we do the super chat questions. All right. Super chat time. Danny McGraw says, "Hello, Brad. If you could have been in the theater for the premiere of any movie, what would it be?" Sorry, I'm still kind of reading that, and my voice is fake me. I got to get back to my real voice. All right. Oh, geez. Maybe Heaven's Gate. Just for like the awkwardness during the intermission, where everyone's like, "So, do we say anything?" Poor Chimino there, like, no one's drinking the champagne. Well, they have some issues with the movie. There's a great documentary about it where you can hear stories about it. It's called Final Cut. I think it's all on YouTube. Yeah, I'd probably be at that. Jacob Matthew Crawford. Sorry I missed today's AMA. Oh yeah, we do AMAs over on Patreon as well. If you're never able to make it to do the super chats or anything like that, I do AMAs over on our Patreon. Jacob says, been very busy. Now for a question. As a father-to-be, how do you think you'd fare rewatching the fetus scene from Cheap? So I directed this movie. It's called Cheap. It's about I was in my like early mid-20s when I made that. 2005 is when we released it. So it's a movie called Cheap where I play a snuff filmmaker, and it's basically like a shot on video Last House on Dead End Street. There's a part in it where the porn producer in the movie, his name is Max Force, his wife was having an affair with my character. She was pregnant, and then they do a snuff film in which she and the fetus are killed. It's a pretty graphic scene. And if you think that it's graphic in the version that you saw, it was way more graphic in the first cut of that movie. The first cut of that movie would, like, we had like a fake vagina and everything. That was a fun prop to go by. Yeah, it was severely trimmed down, and it's pretty graphic in the regular one, but more so in the other. But anyway, I'm sure I'd be fine. This is the movie. Like I, yeah, you never know how something like that is going to affect you in the future or something. If something that kind of doesn't really affect you that much when you're watching it, before and then later on in life, maybe you're just like, oh, maybe I don't want to be watching something like this right now. I don't see that being the case with me, just because I mean I'm an exploitation guy. I watch stuff like this day in and day out, but you never know. I don't. I would probably watch that scene from Cheap Now and be like, well, I can tell that's a doll that they're using, or that we're using, I should say. Lenny Laserdiscs. Hey, Brad. One time my younger brother recited the Jimmy Shaker Day monologue during breakfast. I laughed so freaking hard. We both love Ransom. Ransom is awesome. And yeah, the Jimmy Shaker Day monologue from Gary Sinise, who's my sidekick now. The Jimmy Shaker Day monologue is it's a phenomenal bit of writing and acting. It's great. Like, and to cap it all off with the line, you have to ask yourself, is today Jimmy Shaker Day? It's so great. Such a great ensemble in it between Gibson, Rene Russo, Delroy Lindo, Evan Handler, Lily Taylor, Liev Schreiber's in this, Donnie Wahlberg. Just a fantastic, of course, Gary Sinise. Like it's great. I think it's one of Ron Howard's best. I love Ransom. David Harris, watching in the UK with my Lloyd approved shirt. Very cool. I need to order one of those too. I have a few shirts from my own store. I've got a Saul one, and I've got a couple of the Lloyd, the Cinema Snob and Lloyd Christmas shirts. The Lloyd approved one I really should get sometime. I really do love that. But thank you very much for that. Campbellzilla, what are some of your favorite against type performances from actors? My go-to is always Arch Hall Jr. and The Sadist. I love Arch Hall Jr. I got like the CD of his music. I met him at one of the first cons that we did. One of the first cons we did not long after we started the Cinema Snob. And I remember I specifically wanted to go to it so I could meet Arch Hall Jr. because I love his music. I do. Vicky, that's a great song. So I love that CD. I play it every now and then. His movies are really entertaining. They're just kind of like, fun little happy-go-lucky B movies. But then he starred in The Sadist, in which he plays a fictitious version of Charles Starkweather. And what's funny about that is it's him and it's Marilyn Manning, who were both the couple in Iga, and in this, they're playing like the roles that in a fictitious version. So it's like they're roles that would also later be played by Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek in Badlands, and it's about them taking this group of teachers hostage in a junkyard. It's a really tense thriller, and it's the only part he has that's like that. Other than that, he's usually like a drive-in movie teen heartthrob type, like Elvis, Frankie Avalon type character you'd see him play in something. Not in The Sadist. No, he just straight up goes for broke and is like goes full on serial killer mode. It's great. That I usually top up there with like my favorite against type roles. Matt Florent says, has there any movie that ever made you throw up or come close? If so, which ones? There's never been a movie that made me throw up. Nauseous. maybe the feces scene from Sallow. I didn't throw up, but I probably was kind of like, oh. I didn't stop watching it by any means. I mean, I've seen it more than once, but no, that one I might have felt a little queasy the first time I saw it. The most nauseous that I ever got in a movie, and it wasn't because it was gross or anything like that. Usually I am shaky cam, stuff like that doesn't bother me. Not that I like it. Typically, I don't like a lot of it, or at least if it's done poorly. If it's done well, that's fine. But done poorly, where you're like, there's no rhyme or reason to the editing here. It's just someone took some scissors to this and stuck it together, like, Taken 3, like a lot of the editing, like him jumping over the fence and stuff like that. Like, it never, even in found footage movies, I didn't get motion sickness from Blair Witch or anything like that. I saw Blair Witch more than once in the theater, and that kind of stuff didn't bother me. The only time anything like that ever really did was Jason Bourne, the recent one. The one from, I guess, not recent, but the newest one. Like, when Matt Damon came back for the role, and it was just called Jason Bourne. That one, I don't know why, like, it was so far out with there's the shaking, and it was that, like, because I know that's kind of the style of some of those, at least when, like, Greengrass took over. But I remembered it working better in Supremacy and Ultimatum. Maybe Legacy did a little bit of that too, but it wouldn't have bothered me in that. I don't remember it bothering me in the others. And they amped it up way too much in Jason Bourne, to where it got to the point to where I was kind of having to look away quite a few times. Like, I was genuinely feeling ill when I was watching it. And that is the only time that's ever happened to me going to see something in the theater. Which I guess is saying something about the shaky cam of that film. Both Brian and I were both like that. We were both like, oh my God. Like, this is like, dude, are you feeling it too? I don't think it's the popcorn. My body's used to that by now. Campbellzilla, your favorite Humphrey Bogart movie. I mean, it's an easy answer, but probably Casablanca. It's the one I've seen the most. I haven't seen a ton of his filmography. I mean, yeah, a handful, like a lot of the ones a lot of people have seen, like, African Queen, stuff like that. But it's been a while since I've seen a Humphrey Bogart movie, and there's a lot of them I didn't see till I was older. I grew up knowing who he was, certainly what Casablanca is, but I grew up more so watching not necessarily Casablanca, but like I said, I guess that's my answer. It's the one I've seen the most. It is a great film. It is. But I grew up more so watching Play It Again, Sam, with Diane Keaton, Woody Allen, and Tony Roberts, where it's about a guy who's obsessed with Casablanca, and then he's in this, like, love triangle that starts kind of like having some similarities, but in a comedy tone. Yeah, I grew up more so watching Play It Again, Sam. I mean, it shows Humphrey Bogart a couple of times in that movie, so I guess that's in, like, stock footage. There's a guy who's, like, doing an impression of him later on in the film. I guess that's Play It Again, Sam. I'll say that's my favorite Humphrey Bogart movie. Is that all we got in here for the super chats? Doesn't look like I missed any. Okay, that's good. All right, well, that was fun, people. Oh, we got to look at the poll. Hang on. Let's see what won. And be sure to contribute in the chat. Or, I'm sorry, the comments as well. Talk about your favorite Gary Sinise movies in this episode that really is mainly about the Oogie Loves and Paranormal Activity 2. And Play It Again, Sam. Reindeer Games won? Really? All right. I'll hit end poll. Disagree with that. I don't mind Reindeer Games, really, because Gary Sinise and Charlize Theron are really good in it. And, like, the twist in it actually did kind of get me. I only saw it once. I saw it when it was in the theater. It had such bad reviews when it came out that when we saw it that weekend, I remember not thinking it was that bad. I mean, maybe I might think that now, but it's Gary Sinise. He'd make it watchable. He's in bad guy mode in it. If you haven't seen Jack the Bear... Okay, first of all, of the choices on there, the correct answer was Ransom. But Jack the Bear, okay, so let me tell you about Jack the Bear. I should do a snob episode on this because I'm curious watching it years later. I only saw this movie once. This was a drama that was starring Danny DeVito, and it was about him in the 1970s being a single father. And I remember how it was advertised. It was just advertised as this, from what I remember, as this coming of age movie with a teen, his dad, and I think there's some other kids too. But so a lot of it, again, like I said, it plays out like a drama film, set in the 1970s, and then it's got this plot that might come into it halfway through or in the third act. Again, it's been since the 90s that I've seen this movie, so Gary Sinise moves in next door to him, in which this movie that started out like a dad and his son type movie becomes a thriller in which Gary Sinise moves in next door, and it turns out he's a neo-Nazi. Like, Gary Sinise is a neo-Nazi who then starts, like, stalking the family, and I think there's, like, a death at the end, too. I think it turns, like, he breaks into their house or something like that and tries killing them. Like, it does. I do remember it turning into thriller territory in the last act of this film, where suddenly now Gary Sinise is a neo-Nazi stalking this family. I should really watch this movie again. Because I actually remember liking it. Only because, like, this played with my expectations. I didn't know this was going to be a thriller in the last part of it. Like, I remember it's got, like, this... Is it like a fight scene or something where it's raining, where it feels kind of like the fight at the end of Unbreakable? I'm going by, like, 30 years of memory here. Like, maybe if I were to watch it again, it'll all make sense to me. Fun to describe it, though. All right, I don't think I got any more. No, I don't have any more super chats in there. So we'll go ahead and okay, here's one that just came in. Mr. We Eat Nation says, "What are your favorite films that begin with the word don't?" Check out Don't Go in the House. Ultra disturbing ass movie. Like, if you like stuff like Bill Lustig's Maniac, like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, stuff like that, check out Don't Go in the House, man. It's about this dude who, it's Bates-ish in a way, where he's living with his mom. His mom, like, abuses him, and when he was a kid, she put cigarettes out on him. So he's this psychopath who kidnaps these women and builds this, like, furnace room where he torches his victims with a flamethrower. It's disturbing, man. But it's got a really good disco soundtrack, because he starts, like, he tries getting out in the world, like his friends at work are like, "No, come out to the disco with us." It's got a really good disco soundtrack. And when I did that movie Disco some years ago, I used a couple of songs from that. There's this great underrated disco tune from it. It's called Struck by Boogie Lightning, by a group called Lickterique, I think is what they were called. There's Struck by Boogie Lightning. That is a great song. There's another one in that movie too that's called Net Love Surrender, or what's it called? I forget. But Struck by Boogie Lightning, that's the one that I remember the most. No, I like that. That's my favorite Don't movie right there. I should do a snob on that sometime. Maybe I have like a Don't month. That's a good idea. Next time I do a theme month. Yeah. Maybe like a Don't month or something like that. Cool. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to check out that Hong Kong, Reagan, Indiana Jones Cinema Snob episode. Follow us over on Twitter at the Cinema Snob. And as always, stay snobby, my friends.
Everybody come join the party.